This view now of the International Space Station from the control panel in the Soyuz vehicle. That view is the familiar engineering cross-haired view that shows the Soyuz crew, Kononenko, Chub, and O'Hara, all of the various parameters of their approach. Just about 1 kilometer away, closing at a rate of about 4 meters per second. About 2.5 minutes to go before the fly-around of the station by Soyuz. As the Soyuz and the International Space Station pass off the northern coast of South America back out over the South Atlantic, the two vehicles will skirt the northwest coast of Africa and then over the Mediterranean. A great view of the Soyuz MS-24 just off the northern coast of South America, moving from southwest and northeast. Inside 1 kilometer from the International Space Station and a docking to the Rassvet module. Docking scheduled just 20 minutes from now. We are about to initiate the fly-around of the station at a distance of 400 meters. And at a distance of 400 meters, the fly-around of the International Space Station by Soyuz MS-24 has begun. This will take about 3 minutes to complete. In the lower right-hand corner of your screen, the ultraflex solar rays of the Northrop Grumman Cygnus cargo craft, the Soyuz MS-24, with Loral O Hara of NASA and Roscosmos cosmonauts Oleg Kononenko and Nikolai Chub aboard, launched just under 3 hours ago from the Baikonur cosmodrome, now just 320 meters away from the Rassvet module of the International Space Station, which will be their docking port. The Soyuz and the International Space Station now flying over southern Morocco.
Ожидаем переход в курс режим причаливания.
Expect the final approach mode transition.
Дальность 230.
Range is 230. 025 is range rate. We see the course mode final approach.
Fly around is complete. The final approach is expected shortly. The Soyuz and the station flying over the Moroccan desert.
We have the final approach. Причал K-15 ranges to 10. 0.19 is range rate. We're rotating along the roll. Be ready to execute page 53 in the OSK lighting.
And Russian flight controllers in Korolyov have given the Soyuz the go for final approach. The Soyuz headlight has been turned on, as you can see. Final approach has now been initiated.
Final approach.
200 meters separating the Soyuz from the station.
Acceleration for final approach.
The two vehicles about to pass just south of Casablanca.
Anton, what was your request about the video, about the picture?
The Soyuz and the International Space Station heading into an orbital sunset. And this view now from the external video camera, the engineering camera on the outside of the Soyuz, showing the station and the docking port on the Rassvet module, 118 meters separating the two vehicles, closing at a rate of 0.6 meters per second. The other Soyuz that's on board the station, which will be the ride home for Sergei Prokopiev, Dmitry Petelin, and Frank Rubio, just 12 days from now, is docked to the space-facing side of the Russian segment to the Prishal module, that is the node module attached to the multipurpose laboratory module. Approaching 60 meters between Soyuz and station, closing at a rate of 0.2 of a meter per second. At the time of contact and capture, the Soyuz will be moving even slower at just about 1/10 of a meter per second.
Gas 13, gas 17. Range is 47 meters. 0 to
The docking system is now powered up. In the center section of this three-section Soyuz vehicle are the three crew members, Loral O Hara, Oleg Kononenko, and Nikolai Chub, just moments away from arriving at their new home in space. As you heard, 25 meters separating the two vehicles, closing at a rate now of 1/10 of a meter per second. You can see the pentagon-shaped docking target at the base of the Rassvet module.
Copy. We have AR base. Range is 20. Copy. How do you read me on VHF2?
This video now over Russian ground stations of the Soyuz. View of the final approach for docking. Now less than 20 meters separating the two vehicles.
Anton, we didn't copy your last. We have road interference. Right now we're going to switch to VHF1. Antares, how do you read me on VHF1? We're really loud and clear. Well, there's there's a small bias, but we're straightening out. Range is, by my assessment, 17 meters, and range rate is 0.1. Copy. We see the target, and the eclipse is starting. Range is 10 meters by my assessment. 0.12 is range rate. Copy. I am approaching at 7 meters. Range is 7 meters and range rate is 0.12. Copy. I think it all works. We have a small bias, and I think we're straightening out. 6 meters.
6 meters now separating the two vehicles.
Range rate. We have a small bias. 5 meters. 0.9.
Less than 5 meters now, standing by for contact and capture.
The bias is straightening out little by little. 3 meters, 0.1 range rate. We're expecting contact. Everything is nominal. 5332, we
contact confirmed, docking confirmed at 1:53 p.m. Central Time, 2:53 p.m. Eastern Time, as the station and Soyuz flew 260 miles over Ukraine, south of Kyiv. This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, we're in the final phase of the leak checks and pressure checks on the Soyuz side of the docking interface at the Rassvet module at the International Space Station. A good view right there of the Soyuz MS-23 spacecraft, or 24 spacecraft, I should say, that arrived at the station with docking at 1:53 p.m. Central Time, 2:53 p.m. Eastern.
Opening. I have released it. Opening the hatch.
And the Soyuz hatch is now open.
Oh, have you been waiting for us for so long? It can't be. Dr. Gable, just finish it in a minute.
Перворазка выпустим.
We're going to let the first timers in. Okay, hatches open. We see the hatches open, speaking simultaneously. So should we translate in the station? Yes, go ahead.
The Soyuz hatch opened at 4:16 p.m. Central Time, 5:16 Eastern.
Close it, but leave it a little bit ajar and then complete all our steps. Just turn off duplex comm line.
Those Soyuz systems that will be in a caretaker state while the spacecraft is linked to the International Space Station will be deactivated later this evening. Loral O Hara on board the International Space Station. Followed by Nikolai Chub. Oleg Kononenko following the two first-time flyers into the International Space Station, and the population of the station has now grown to 10. You're looking at Dmitry Petelin in the foreground, along with Frank Rubio on the left, Sergei Prokopiev in the back. Those three will begin a handover period with O'Hara, Chub, and Kononenko en route to their return to Earth on September 27th. In the back row, from left to right, Andy Mogensen, Frank Rubio, Dmitry Petelin, Jasmine Mogbeli, and Satoshi Furukawa. Konstantin Borisov on the left in the front row, along with Nikolai Chub, Sergei Prokopiev, Oleg Kononenko, and in the far right in the front row, Loral O Hara.